Okay, on to action item number 1, appointment of Patrick Quinton to the position of Executive Director and approving the terms and conditions of employment, Resolution 6853. I'm going to start. Patrick, you want to come up and talk a little bit about the process, and then provide an opportunity for Patrick to talk about his vision. Then the commissioners will have an opportunity to grill him. So I think, as you all know, since December, I have been working with the mayor's chief of staff, and there have been 2 since Bruce announced his retirement, to lead the effort to name the new executive director. Over that time, I have continually briefed my fellow commissioners on the process, the strategy, and its progress. As always, I strive for consensus, and I'm proud to say that we did reach consensus on the selection of Patrick Quinton. For those of you who attended our open forum with staff last month, you're aware that in our initial discussions of the process, we quickly came to agreement that an internal candidate would be preferable over a regional or national search. The agency is well aligned from the board to city council to staff, with clear direction through our strategic plan and the city economic development strategy. At this moment in time, we need someone who can leverage this momentum and implement those plans. And last but not least, a regional or national search would take months and would be unnecessarily disruptive to PDC operations, even more disruptive than the recent weeks. So we reviewed the 2005 PDC Commission resolution outlining the criteria suggested for evaluation of the candidates and prioritized those criteria based on the organization's needs at this time. We discussed potential internal and external candidates and interviewed those we felt capable of handling the job. The mayor and I held meetings with the URAC members, the business and minority communities, and our most prized resources, the PDC staff. We asked, what are the attributes you'd like to see in the next executive director? The feedback was consistent. Almost everyone thought an internal candidate was the right decision, and a search would only be necessary if we couldn't find the right candidate. We also heard the need for strong internal and external leadership skills, the trust and confidence of the mayor and the board, experience managing and supervising staff, understanding and fluency in the city's economic development strategy, experience in resource development and the financial markets, understanding the need to continue to focus on maintaining the strong relationship we've created with our neighborhood and minority communities, and last but not least, one who is inspirational and passionate. Patrick has strong leadership and management skills. He thinks strategically and with vision. He has a strong finance background. He's terrific at relationship building. He's articulate and meticulous in his preparation. He's inclusive, yet decisive. And he has all of the attributes I listed as important by staff, the URAC representatives, and the business and minority communities. I want to thank all of the candidates for their interest in the position and their sincere desire to see PDC be all that it can be to fulfill the critical role as the Economic Development Agency of Portland. And I'm happy to say you all continue to work with us. Before Patrick talks about his vision for the future, I wanted to outline 3 of the top priorities that Patrick and I totally agree on. First, settlement of the labor dispute in a manner that drives a new culture that increases communication and is more supportive to staff. Second, find new sources of revenue that will augment the declining and consistently controversial TIF. And finally, continue to nurture the excellent relationships we have established with our neighborhoods, community members, and City Hall. I'm excited about the leadership at PDC. I know our commissioners are excited about the new leadership at PDC and the changes ahead. Patrick?
Good morning, Chair Andrews and Commissioners, and thank you for this tremendous honor. I'm grateful for the confidence that you have in me and look forward to working more closely with each of you to achieve PDC's worthy mission. And as Bruce pointed out, I feel quite fortunate to be assuming this role at this time, because it's hard for me to imagine that there's ever been a more knowledgeable and committed chair and board of the PDC, and I'm glad to know that all of you will be serving for the next few years, or hopefully longer. I also want to thank Mayor Adams and his team, including Kimberly Snyder and Warren Jimenez, for their support, not just for me personally, but for all the work that we do. We have made great strides in economic development over the past few years, and we wouldn't have been able to accomplish this without their inspiration and their sustained commitment to our strategy. I also want to thank Bruce and congratulate Bruce on his long career of service to the state and his years here at PDC. I obviously have been here for 3 of those years, and we've accomplished much. And I second Commissioner Strauss's comments that he allowed many of us to chart our own course and to lead, and I'm thankful and grateful for that. And I wish him the best of luck in his future. And like Chair Andrews, I also want to acknowledge my colleagues who were considered for this position: Aaron Flynn, Keith Witkowski, Julie Cody, and John Jackley. I think your commitment to select from a pool of strong internal candidates demonstrates the depth of talent within this agency, as well as your confidence in our current strategic direction. And I appreciate that each has offered to work with me as we guide this agency into a new era. And I especially want to thank Erin Flynn for her contributions to PDC. It is Erin, I think, who deserves much of the credit for the strategic direction that we are currently on at PDC. And finally, and most importantly, I would like to acknowledge and thank my wife, who is here with us today, my wife, Titia. No success in my life happens without her support and counsel, so it means a lot. Nor does it happen without the support of our 3 children, who will always be my biggest fans, regardless of whether my name appears in the paper or not. So just in case there's any doubt, I want to ensure you that I am absolutely chomping at the bit to begin this job. We face many challenges, both external and internal, but as we all know, with challenges come opportunities. Out of the worst recession in our lifetimes emerged the city's first economic development strategy in 15 years and a renewed focus on job creation. We will continue this obsessive focus on job creation in the coming years through our ongoing work with traded sector clusters and in promoting entrepreneurship, small business growth, and innovation in the Portland region. We are committed to working hand in hand with private sector leadership, including the PBA and Greenlight, as well as our public partners, to ensure that the Portland region is viewed by businesses here and throughout the nation as a competitive and compelling place to do business. The collapse of the global financial markets has caused us to re-examine what I believe is a dated public-private redevelopment model that now relies too heavily on home runs and does not ask enough in terms of leverage and return on public dollars. We will use our increasingly scarce dollars to seed the projects that most closely match our job creation objectives, that reflect the fiscal realities of the financial markets, and offer the greatest leverage and impact for taxpayer dollars. The growing inequality between the haves and have-nots in Portland compels us to re-energize our work to help create jobs and promote prosperity in disadvantaged neighborhoods throughout the city. Our leadership in the use of minority contractors and workers is only a start. If we are truly the city's economic development agency, then our impact must stretch beyond downtown, beyond the boundaries of our urban renewal areas, to the neighborhoods and the residents that are most disconnected from the regional economy. And as stewards of this historic agency, we must not ignore the looming expiration of urban renewal areas and the resulting decline in tax increment financing by leaving PDC depleted and ineffectual. In addition to our efforts to reestablish new, more tightly focused urban renewal areas, we will undertake a comprehensive search for new and hopefully creative sources of revenue that will fund this work well into the future and allow us to be more nimble and responsive to the needs of businesses and residents. But we can't tackle all these imposing challenges without having our own house in order. We are joined today by many of the hardworking and talented PDC team members, the folks who will do all this great work. PDC leadership, in cooperation and collaboration with union leaders, owe it to this team to finalize negotiations on a new collective bargaining agreement and to provide certainty on staff reductions as quickly as possible, and hopefully within a matter of weeks. This upcoming period will be tumultuous for this agency and its staff, but I am confident that we will emerge on the other side more financially stable and better structured to execute our strategy. More importantly, by working through this turbulent time in a collaborative and trusting manner, we can renew our shared passion and commitment for the work we do. So thank you again for this honor, and let's get to work. So I think we have some guest speakers.
Yeah,
So
and Alan Sprott is actually signed, but I think that there are a couple others that have wanted to testify as well, so.
We have Alan Sprott from Vigor Industrial. We have Brewster Crosby from Unique Investments, and is Sandy here?
I haven't seen Sandy come in. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Go ahead.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Alan Sprott. I'm a vice president with Vigor Industrial. We own the shipyard on Swan Island. First, I'd just like to say thanks to Bruce for all his hard work and leadership at PDC. He did a great job. I'm here really just to express our strong support for Patrick in this role. North Portland industries are facing significant challenges right now. We're at odds with the city and the conservation group on the river plan, and that's not good for any of us, and we'd like to get through that. We all face significant challenges with dealing with the Superfund, and this is something that's going to be with us for many years, if not decades. We struggle to develop our workforce, a skilled workforce to get us to help us compete, and we face stiff competition both domestically and internationally right now. I support Patrick because I think his experiences leading the industrial sector at PDC, his experiences in the private sector, and his personality and style are going to be great assets to help us meet these challenges.
My name is Brewster Crosby. I'm with Unique Investments, private equity firm, heading up their Portland office. First of all, I want to commend both the board and the mayor's office for their selection of Patrick. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. I got to know Patrick during the development of the Portland Seed Fund, where I helped push that effort along. Patrick showed true leadership in that, and I think a lot of the qualities that you mentioned you were looking for, Patrick has naturally, and really showed exceptional leadership through that process, which not only was a challenging process, but a process where we had to learn along the way and navigate quite a bit of interesting waters. So he through that whole process was very enjoyable to work with, very fair, I felt, and very focused on a vision of getting the seed fund launched. And so I appreciate his efforts there. Going forward, I think from the business development side, there are many challenges left ahead for Patrick and for the PDC. I hope that he has the support to continue the work in developing what I would call the conveyor belt of entrepreneurship here in Portland. We have addressed the early stage seed and funding gap, and we need to continue to focus on that, but build the additional steps needed to develop these companies, find the winners within the companies that have the legs to really run, and give them the support, both from PDC and from the private sector to grow. And I know Patrick's very committed to that vision, very committed to making that a success. I think if we can do that, Portland, after Patrick's tenure, will be a much different business environment. And I think that if he and the board and the staff support his vision for what Portland really can be, his legacy will have a long and prosperous stamp on the city of Portland. So again, I want to congratulate the board for their efforts and support of Patrick, and I want to congratulate Patrick for the new position.
Thank you, Brewster. Alan, in particular, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your work on the river plan. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy subject, and I know there's still work to be done, and I'll commit to you again if there's something that I can do to help the process. Don't hesitate to call on me, okay?
Thanks, God, I won't.
Thank you. Patrick, why don't you come back up? I've already said enough.
Thank you.
So it's Charles' turn.
Well, first of all, Patrick, I want to say congratulations and to thank you for assuming the responsibility, and it is a big one. Your comments were very clear, and I think everyone in the room appreciates how you're approaching the opportunity. And more importantly, I think everyone recognizes that you're approaching it with enthusiasm and passion, and that's half the battle. So it's fairly obvious to me that you are well equipped for the position and you want the position, and those two factors I think will lead to a lot of success. I won't ask a lot of questions because you and Chair Andrews have done a wonderful job of articulating an agenda, and it's a very defined agenda and it's a prioritized agenda, and I think that's what everyone needs to hear right now. So I will just say I'm here to work with you, and I look forward to working with you and supporting you and the rest of the staff here at PDC in any way that I can to make sure that we continue the great work that PDC has been doing for years. And as I close my comments, I will say you've already demonstrated just by one comment that you're very well prepared and you're thinking in the right way, and that comment was you gave due credit and the most credit to your wife. And that's only half a joke, because everyone in this room knows that you can't accomplish anything in life without support. And the fact that your wife is here and supporting you, and you recognize that she has supported you and maybe advised you in everything that you've done along the way, I think is a strong statement for how you approach responsibility. And you can't take on this level of responsibility and all the demands that come with the job without having that support. So I wish you the best, and ask and thank you for supporting him and continuing to support him, because he's definitely going to need it. So welcome aboard, and once again, I look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Steve.
Well, Mr. Quinton, congratulations. I think the sign on your lapel really says it all. Your focus on jobs.
I wore that for you.
It's really appreciated. I think that what the agency needs to do now more than ever is to work with other public and private agencies like Green Lights Greater Portland, like the PBA, to be out there making new jobs available to the people that need them in this city. So thank you for that, taking on that leadership role. I think you're going to do a spectacular job. I do look forward to working with you. And I think it's wonderful that you brought your wife along. I met her briefly and your kids up on the mountain last year, and I think he's a great father and a great husband, and he's going to be a spectacular executive director of the PDC. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Steve.
Patrick, congratulations. I am just really happy to know that you have 3 children as well, because I know the challenges of being a parent, and just knowing that you're a family man also makes me feel really comfortable with your leadership. It shows you're a multifaceted leader, and you know how to work with all kinds of different types of people, because we know how the youngsters can be.
Right.
You do have a really big job ahead, and you definitely need all of our support. So I really want to be that continued support for you and help you in any areas where you still feel like you might have weaknesses. One piece that I'm excited that you've mentioned is the neighborhood economic development strategy that we've kind of been focusing on and really getting back into the neighborhoods, and you really seem to have a passion for that. So I'm excited to work with you through some of those new visions that we're continuing to pull forward. And also, just whenever I see Patrick, I always think he's like this big, banker type. He's always dressed sharply, and he's very, has a very leader-esque type quality to him. But what I found out when I was meeting with him the other day is he rides a bike. He actually wears jeans. He can totally lay back, and I'm happy to know that he does have a lot of different qualities to who he is, and I think that's what's going to make a really dynamic leader in this organization. And we're happy to have you here. So congratulations, and your wife, thank you for all that you're going to be facing, because I know that unfortunately you will be in the paper and it can be hard sometimes, but the support of your family is what's going to keep you going. So congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
John.
Well, congratulations, Patrick, and I very much agree with all the comments that the other commissioners have made, and so I won't spend a lot of time repeating them, but congratulations. I appreciated very much the remarks that you made this morning, and I think you have identified a lot of our collective top priorities and are ready to get to work on them, and that's great. I think one of the comments that I heard, or remarks that I heard you make, is something I really believe in, and I think all of us believe in, is that these are very challenging times, but there's also a lot of opportunity out there, and that's our job collectively, to find those opportunities, to turn over some new rocks, to do some new things, take advantage of those opportunities and get those opportunities out in every corner and every neighborhood of this city. So thanks very much for stepping up to the plate. There's a lot of other good candidates, and I want to thank all of them as well. And I know the board and all the employees are looking forward to working together and continuing to move the agency forward. And I'll do anything I can to be part of that team. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I would look for a motion to approve Resolution 6853, appointment of Patrick Quinton to the position of Executive Director and approving the terms and conditions of employment.
So moved.
I second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, baby.